While Australian politics might right now not be as interesting as might now be as interesting and appetizing as a sink full of dirty dishes, in America things are really heating up. Now, it is no secret that higher education in the U.S. is completely in crisis. Colleges and universities have for years, decades, been charging extortionate amounts of money for useless degrees that leave young people, heavily indebted and still unable to get a job. So, faced with this situation, what do you think the Biden administration chose to do? Option one, do the hard yards of fixing the sector and maybe, just maybe, make highly paid university administrators accountable for selling a product that doesn't do what it says on the tin. Or option two, I got it, make hardworking middle-class taxpayers stump up the cash to bail out anyone on up to $125,000 a year and carrying debt from their degree to the tune of $20,000. Yes, that's right. Whether you're an unemployable gender studies grad or working as a junior associate in a big law firm after a stint at Yale Law, you're going to be $20,000 ahead thanks to the Biden administration. And the cost to ordinary Americans? Up to $2,000 ahead. Not even White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre, herself highly educated at the New York Institute of Technology and Columbia University, could explain this one.
But can you explain a little bit about how you guys think it is fiscally responsible? Because you can't say how much it's going to cost. You can't say exactly how it's going to be paid for. And you can't say exactly who is paying for the cost. I get how you're arguing that it helps certain populations, but how is it fiscally responsible?
I mean, the way that we are talking about it and what we're trying to say is the actions that we have taken, and you see this with the way that deficit has been reduced. We have taken just the last 19 months. And I see that look that you're giving me there, Matt.
I hear the argument that you have taken previous fiscally responsible actions that give you more wiggle room to be.
Right, it gives us no. We see this. We do not see this as irresponsible.
She got her degree's worth for that degree. Could she even explain how much this is going to cost?
If you don't know how much it's going to cost, how can you guarantee that it's going to be paid for, even if you're defining paid for in a way that some of us have questions about?
Look, I think what I can tell you is that we have done the work to make sure that this is done in a fiscal responsible way, in a balanced way.
And how to justify the president's authority to just cancel student debt, or rather shift the burden onto other people? Well, you knew this was coming. They're using monkeypox. Sorry, not monkeypox. Sorry, Rowan. No. That's the new health emergency. They're still stuck on COVID.
I want to ask about the legal basis for canceling student debt. The HEROES Act hinges on student debt cancellation being tied to the pandemic and that being a national emergency. But the administration argued in court that the pandemic is over at the southern border to lift Title 42.
So it's a very good question, and I'm glad you asked it. Look, we use the HEROES Act because there are going to be some people, when we lift the pause, that's still going to suffer.
Now, if you're confused, you're not alone. And the move isn't popular with many Democrats either. Vulnerable Democrat senators and congressmen across the U.S. are now working to put as much distance between themselves and this move as possible because they know it could sink their chances with working and middle-class voters in the midterm elections. Because remember, more than 2/3 of Americans didn't go to university. So this will strike them as just another bailout for the privileged and well-off. That's why the Washington Post, which is about as reliable a spear carrier for Joe Biden as any paper in the land, called it a regressive mistake. But when it comes down to it, it's all about turnout, and this is why they're doing it. And the fact that Democrats need college-educated voters, the sort who care more about cultural issues like abortion and pronouns than they do about the price of gas at the pump, to come out in November and vote like they've never voted before. Roy Texera, who writes at the Liberal Patriot website, writes, in 2022, it appears that white college graduate voters are reporting for duty once again. These voters are less sensitive to economic problems and more likely to be moved by a social issue like abortion rights, which looms large in their worldview. In short, they are the perfect voters for Democrats in the current environment. To put it another way, the Democrats are trying to buy their way into office by paying off the privileged with working class taxpayers' money. Money which will presumably be collected by Joe Biden's new, expanded, more aggressive IRS. Whether it's Trump or DeSantis in 2024 doesn't matter at this stage. The Democrats have just given Republicans an issue they can run on for a decade.